Vanessa, do you have good bandwidth right now?
What?
Okay, I was just making sure you could hear and
Yeah.
all right, we'll wait another minute or so. I'm going to send everyone a quick remind just to. Okay. So Vanessa, if you want to wait just one more minute for anyone else, because this is our first Zoom meeting. I know I got several texts that people had sports or other commitments, and then some people have to leave early. So we do want to be prompt with our time, Vanessa, because some folks have to leave early.
Okay.
So we can probably get started. We have a quorum. Yay. So that's our first. So Vanessa, I'll let you take it away. We are just a reminder for everyone, our last meeting was in person, but I reminded everyone that it was being recorded. And the same thing for our Zoom meetings. They're being recorded and they will be up on the town website. So we just want to do that reminder since this is our first Zoom meeting. Vanessa, I'll let you take it away.
Okay, first of all, I hope my Wi-Fi connection is good because last time I was on a Zoom call, it got a little iffy. So stay with me, and if there's any issues, just like let me know. Okay, so it is 5:02 on October 3rd, 2022, and I'm going to call this meeting of the Wakefield Youth Council to order. So next on our agenda, I'm going to take attendance. So just say here when you hear your name. Ahmed Othman.
Here.
Ali Atui.
Here.
Ala Othman. Not here. Elizabeth Menjivar. I think she had work. Juliana Spalding. I think she also had a game. Madeline Naper.
Here.
Matthew O'Brien,
Here.
Paige Arkansas,
Here.
Sadie Lomnack, and Thomas.
She texted me she had some an appointment.
Okay. And then Thomas Marinato.
Here.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak? Okay.
Vanessa, do you mind if I just say hello?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. So I know most people on, but I know there are a few new people. So I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Jonathan Chines, member of the town council, and one of the things that I serve as is the liaison to the youth council. So I apologize that I wasn't able to attend the last meeting, but really excited to continue working with you guys over the coming year. And if there's anything I can do or any questions that you have, please feel free to reach out to me anytime by phone or email. Always happy to connect and help wherever I can.
Thank you so much. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, so next on our agenda is the approval of meeting minutes from September 21st. Ollie, do you want to give us a summary?
Thank you, Vanessa. So to summarize, Catherine, our adult advisor, chaired the last meeting, and we had full attendance from our members. So to start, Catherine introduced herself and explained her role, and each of us gave a brief introduction as well. We then followed over to the reorganization of the Youth Council. For the position of chair, Vanessa was voted as chair on an 8-3 vote. A separate motion to establish co-chairs was defeated. For the position of vice chair, Madeline Naper was voted as vice chair on a 6-5 vote. And for the position of clerk, myself was voted as clerk on a 6-5 vote. Next, in regards to liaisons, Catherine said that they be made known at this meeting. So to touch on our initiatives, we approved to continue the Snow Angels initiative with a suggestion to include leaf raking. And we also approved the Veterans Day cleanup initiative. So Paige Arkansas brought up doing a drive or fundraiser for awareness about women's feminine products for those who cannot access them. And at this meeting, Paige will provide an update on this. We then followed by talking about our presence at Wakefield Town Day, in which we approved having a table there. We discussed different ideas such as initiative promotion and getting input from residents that could be further discussed in a subcommittee. I then gave an overview of the communications outreach subcommittee, and Madeline gave an overview of the Instagram page. For future meetings, we approved to have meetings twice a month, one on half days being hybrid, and the other meetings on weeknights being on Zoom with a doodle poll to schedule. And that's all. Does anyone have any questions?
I just want to say fantastic summary.
Thank you.
Wonderful. There's a reason you got nominated and elected.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ollie. That was really good, like Catherine said. So do I hear a motion to accept the minutes from last meeting?
I motion.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay. I'll go down the line and you can just say that you approve it or not. Ahmed Othman,
Do I just say approve?
you can say yes or no.
Yes.
Ali Atui,
Yes.
Madeline Naper,
Yes.
Matthew O'Brien,
Yes.
Paige Arkansas,
Yes.
and Thomas Marinato.
Yes.
Okay, the next item on the agenda, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Vanessa Westlake, and as Ali said, I will be the Youth Council Chair for the 2022-23 school year. And Madeline has also been elected as the Vice Chair, and Ali is the Clerk. So I don't know if you two wanted to say anything or like introduce yourselves.
I will quickly. As Vanessa said, I'm Madeline. I was elected the vice chair this year. I'm a freshman and I'm really, really excited. I loved being on the council last year. So yeah, I'm really excited to make it a bigger commitment, and I love that it's so many new people. And so I think we're gonna do a lot of really cool things this year.
Yeah, so I'm Ali Atwi, and I'm a sophomore at Wakefield High. And I just want to say I'm really excited to work with all of you this year. I've been on the council for 3 years now, and every year it keeps getting better. So I can't wait to see what we all do together this year.
Thank you. So Jonathan Chines is back on the youth council. And so we also have this year Kevin Fontella, who will be our school committee liaison. I don't think he's here right now, but he might be jumping on later. So if he comes in, he can introduce himself, but he will be here in future meetings. Okay, next, Catherine will be explaining the liaison positions for this year.
Yes, and to the previous point, we had Counselor Chines and school committee member, Mr. Fontanella. He actually reached out. He's very excited to work with the youth council. And this will be our first year having an official school committee liaison, which we're very excited about. And Vanessa, I just want to point out that Mr. Chines is really good with procedural help. So if we have questions about how to, how to propose something, or something about what we're allowed to do and not allowed to do, he's a great resource for that. So and for other things about which department should we approach with this, or we're having a challenge with this, Counselor Chines can just be a great resource for all of you. So I'm really excited that he is committed to another year of acting as your liaison.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'd say even individually, if any of you have questions, just, I know particularly for the new folks, it's kind of hard sometimes to know how the process works. If any of you have any questions, again, just reach out to me individually, and happy to help out, just kind of make sense of all of this. It is kind of a different way of participating in a meeting sometimes.
Okay, so I will take the next agenda item, which is the Wakefield Youth Council liaison positions. So I am actually going to share my screen so I can announce these important roles. And remember, they're not set in stone. So if you get assigned something that isn't exactly what you were hoping for, there are other liaison positions that we don't have listed this year because we have fewer members. So that could be, there's an opportunity to move around. And then we are having a few new members join us who will fill in some of the vacancies. So let me share my screen. All right, so now we have to see. Can you all see my youth council positions? Okay, great. I've got the double screens up, so I'm not sure. So we have Elizabeth, who will be the liaison to the recreation department and athletics. We have Ahmed, who will be liaison to the school committee. Ali, who will be liaisons to media and communications. I felt that was a good fit, Ali, with you being the chair of the communications subcommittee and being our clerk. Madeline will be liaison to the town council. We have a vacancy for our liaison with the police department. Hopefully that will be taken up by one of our new members joining us. Juliana will be liaison to the Safe Streets Working Group. And I actually believe she attended a meeting last week with this working group. So she's already started working. Paige will be liaison to the Human Rights Commission. Thomas will be liaison to town clerk, so kind of learning a bit and promoting elections and civic engagement. So that's kind of a new piece this year that Thomas, that we're excited to take on, as far as the correct connection with the civic engagement that our 8th graders and our high schoolers are doing as part of their social studies curriculum. Matt O'Brien will be our liaison to the BB Library. Sadie will be liaison to the parent groups to help get word out to the adults in our community and the parents on what the youth council is doing. Ala will be liaison to the Board of Health and Health and Human Services Department. And Amanda will be liaison to the Senior Center, the Council on Aging. So helping us coordinate things like snow angels. So those are the liaison assignments. Does anyone have any questions?
I think you were Amanda instead of Vanessa.
Oh my gosh, I keep thinking Vanessa. I'm so sorry. That's your sister, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I knew her sister first, so I keep making that mistake. So Vanessa will be liaison to the Senior Center Council on Aging. Sorry about that. So the next steps are I will be doing an email introduction with you and each of the adults in Town Hall, or the chairs of the committees, to those different boards, departments, or councils. So stay tuned for that. You'll see the introduction, and I will also separately send you an email about what your responsibilities might look like. So you're not expected to go to every single board meeting of, say, of the recreation department, or every single town council meeting, but it does require you to have a contact there and have some communication. And they may invite you to meetings that have youth focused agenda items, or you might present something to them that is something that the youth council is working on. Or finally, you might invite your liaison person to come to a youth council meeting and just kind of give an overview of what their department does and what some things are that they have coming up on the horizon, and maybe some things that are youth centered that they're thinking about doing. So it's really exciting because it's nice because we tend to get a guest at almost every youth council meeting. So we learn a little bit and kind of build those relationships.
Thank you so much. Okay, so next we have a project update from Paige that was proposed from our last meeting. So I don't know if you want to do an update on that.
Yeah, so I actually contacted Maureen Miller at the Wakefield Food Pantry, and I just asked her like what involvement they had with period products there, and she basically said that they don't get many requests for them, and they actually don't carry many. When they do get donations, they go straight to the high schools and middle schools, which I thought was really interesting. So yeah, I asked like if there was any possibility of in the future we were to do a drive or a fundraiser. She said that it's not really something that they would be able to like carry physically because they don't have enough space. So maybe not the food pantry would work, but focusing on getting them in public areas like restaurants, in public places. I know there's a new development going on downtown within the next few years, but at public places, the lake is trying to get more bathrooms, like real bathrooms, not just porta potties, and maybe focusing and making like a requirement for feminine products there, because right now in Massachusetts, they're not required in schools, which is really surprising. And we're fortunate enough to have them in schools. And just like a statistic, I found that 1 in 4 students in the US who menstruate don't have access to products. So I feel like that's really telling, and just more reason to kind of focus and make sure that they're getting in restaurants and I don't know, maybe like homeless shelters or just places. So maybe not the food pantry, but I definitely think there's room for improvement in other areas of town. So yeah.
Hey, Paige, do you know if they have them at the library?
I don't, but I can email. I was gonna ask, them, and I was also going to reach out to Candace Linehan, who was my liaison last year, and see if she knew anything about it. It's not at the food pantry, but I have a couple other directions to go in. So yeah.
Yeah, because having them at the library would be a great place, because a lot of youth are there, but a lot of adults, a lot of folks that might not have the resources to have computers and things at home go to the library. So yeah, and Matt will be able to work with you on that because he'll be working at the library.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree.
I actually used to work at the library, so I know that there's like a few machines, but I don't think they're really like used often, and I think you do have to pay to use them. But that would definitely be like a nice improvement to have them there for people to use when they're in the library, but also like to have the like resources to also like bring them home too. I know right now they have like free COVID tests there, so I feel like they could maybe like do a similar thing where they like put out like pads if like people donate them or like other like menstrual products. So that would definitely be like a good idea to um, kind of expand on.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And definitely just in my contact with the Wakefield food pantry, she said that not a lot of people ask for them, but I was wondering if not a lot of people know that that's even an option. So I think just along with like creating like a drive or a fundraiser, whatever we end up doing, if we even do it, like just making it like so a lot of people know and it's like an obvious thing. Because I really think it's not something that a lot of people know that people have available or that like there's resources. So,
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially because it's like called the food pantry. So I feel like people
yeah.
only think that they supply food.
Mhm.
And they do have other basic needs like toothbrushes and toothpaste and soaps and shampoos and things like that. But I think, Paige, you bring up a really good point. Part of the issue is promotion, and sometimes people might not know that they are available at the school. So thinking about one, understanding where the resources are, where their gaps are. So maybe part of their just, maybe the library creates like a health library where there are free things that they can take, like COVID tests and sanitary products and things like, maybe there's some other health things that are available to residents. But then promoting where these things are available. So I think this is a great idea and a great start.
Are there any other questions for Paige? Okay. The next item is Wakefield Town Day. So it will be happening on Saturday, October 8th from 1 to 4. And this is a great opportunity for the Youth Council to promote like what we do and some of our events and just like kind of get our name out in the public. So Catherine, I don't know if you wanted to like explain it more.
So I believe, Ollie, did you sign the youth council up to have a table?
Yes, I did fill out that form, yes.
Okay, so the youth council officially has a table. And I actually ordered you, youth council is going to be very official. You're going to be the envy of other town departments because you're going to have your own tablecloth that is professionally printed that says Wakefield Youth Council with our logo. So see, I see Mr. Shines, he's jealous. They don't have that. So one thing that
I was going to say, we don't have that when we do town council office hours and tabling.
Yeah, we're going to set the bar high for town boards. So so what would you all like to do? I mean, I like the goals that you all established at the last meeting to get information out about the youth council, but also an opportunity to take in information, find out from youth what are important things for them, for the youth council to take on. How are you going to accomplish this?
Madeline.
So a couple things that stuck out to me from the last meeting that we had talked about. I think the idea of like having like blank pieces of paper where people could write down different things around the town that they wanted to see us either help with or kind of bring up as another initiative or something was a really great idea. And kind of on the other end of that, maybe making like a pamphlet, like something along the lines of like a pamphlet, like literally like a printed out Google Doc or something, just explaining different things that we've done, or maybe our values or different just things that we have kind of in the works. Those are kind of a couple of things that stuck out to me. And the idea of having coloring sheets for kids or stuff like that. I really like those ideas.
Ollie, did you want to add on to that?
Yeah, so I was actually thinking really similarly. I was thinking of doing like flyers or brochures, like promoting our information, and particularly our social media, because we could, that is where we convey a lot of our information. So I think that the more people we get as followers or even just viewers on our social media pages, I think that would be really beneficial to us. And I also like the idea of leaving blank paper or like even index cards to allow people to input their ideas, because I think that that's an area that we could really use some more growing with our input from the Wakefield youth, because they're our drivers. So I think that that would be very beneficial to us.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a great idea. Even like leaving like QR codes on the tables for people to scan with like brochures, maybe like giving people options. But yeah, I think those are definitely all good ideas.
Yeah, I had actually thought about QR codes a while ago, and I actually really like that idea because it's simple and quick, and it makes it easier for people to see us on social media or visit our website. So
Yeah, definitely. I think we should also have the option of like a brochure, maybe for people that just want to like take it and leave, or people who may not know how to use like QR codes and stuff like that. Ahmed, did you have anything to add?
Yeah, I was just gonna add that for our future events, we should have almost like not like a formal sign up, but almost like an interest sheet just to like get a kind of like a vague count of who wants to come to them, just so we can just be prepared if we're gonna do these events or not. We could like tell them that it's not like a formal sign up, it's not set in stone or anything, but we just want to know who's interested.
So like join our mailing list type thing, Ahmed? Yeah, so it's,
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, so if people want to participate in your cleanup for Veterans Day and things like that. The other idea that I know came up was the actual sign up to be a snow angel, to be one of the ones that does the shoveling and gets assigned. So I definitely think that's a good idea, because that we needed to recruit a lot of people for that last year.
Yeah, I was also wondering, like, do we have like a email list that like we send out, or like could we do like a texting list, like how you do it, like for reminders for us? Like, would there be something that like people could sign up for to get notifications about events?
What do you all think is better, an email list or a text list or something else?
Page?
I really like Remind. That's really helpful. Like the app that we use. Because like I see my email, but sometimes it just leaves my brain. So I think that Remind is helpful.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because sometimes I feel like people don't look through their emails as much, and like it kind of gets lost in like different ads and things like that. Ali.
So I think that doing a remind would be really good too. And I also think that maybe we could also do emails. And I was also thinking maybe something that the communications subcommittee could pursue would be bringing back the newsletters that we used to do. And I think that that would be a great way to like promote ourselves like on like an email list or something like that.
Page.
Sorry, I had one more thought. If we did like a Google Calendar, that might be helpful too, because then you can map out and see, and like maybe people could know in advance what they can make it to and what they can't. And we can add like events and like this is when a Snow Angels Day is, or this is when we have certain hours for this. I don't know. That's
That brings up a good point, Paige. Would it be helpful if the youth council had a Google Classroom?
oh yeah, Google Classroom would be good too.
Because then people, I mean, I know the youth action team has one and that's how they communicate. I don't have a school email, but I might be able to get one just to be able to help with that. Because I think everyone this year is Wakefield Public Schools. But I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Counselor Chines and maybe I see school committee member Kevin Fontanella joined us. I feel like that might violate open meeting laws now that I'm thinking through it.
So you couldn't have any discussion over the Google Classroom. But if you used it as a place just for like, file, if if you basically used as a repository for, a calendar of events and, your flyers that you put together to bring to like town day or, information on, a project that you're doing. I think you can use it that way. Anything that does go on the Google Drive would be technically subject to an open meeting, a public records request. So you'd want to be careful to make sure that, whatever you have there is, sort of representing the youth council in a way that that's appropriate. But I think you can use it as a document repository. You just can't kind of communicate. You can't use that as a way of communicating because it would be happening behind sort of closed doors where the public can't be part of that.
Okay, that sounds good. So I'll just kind of look into that a little bit more as far as setting up a Google Classroom, because I do think it would just be easier to have things in one place for the youth to be able to say, yes, oh yeah, that's when the Veterans Day cleanup is. That's where we can post announcements, things like that. So I'll double check on that. But thank you.
No problem. And just in general, in terms of the open meeting law, so because the Youth Council, again, for the new folks, because the Youth Council is technically a public body, all of your meetings have to be open to the public, whether by having them recorded on Zoom like this one is, or by allowing people to show up in person. You can communicate outside of those meetings in ways that are just solely based on information sharing. So for example, you can have an email or a text chain among all of you to schedule your next meeting. You just can't use that to then talk about, the things that you'll be discussing in that meeting. So anything kind of administrative, anything that's kind of related to just the logistics of running the Youth Council is okay to communicate outside of a public forum. Anything that involves like planning for activities or decisions that you're making, that would have to happen in public.
Ahmed.
I just wanted to ask, based on curiosity, what would happen if those meeting laws were broken?
So technically, if the open meeting law is broken, that's something that someone can issue a complaint to the Attorney General's office to investigate. I mean, I don't think, unless you guys were like willfully and maliciously violating the open meeting law, like I don't think there would be much of a consequence beyond the Attorney General's office basically saying, you have to make sure that you're following the law. It's the stakes of what you guys are talking about is less than what we talk about in town council or what Kevin and his colleagues talk about in school committee. So it is a little bit of a different thing, but again, because you are a town body, you are subject to it.
Thank you so much. Paige, did you have another question?
Yeah, I was also just thinking if we did like a Google Calendar maybe, as opposed to a Google Classroom, the Google Calendar could be public and we could put it on like our social media so that anyone can access it and like know when certain events are or when meetings are if the public want to join. I don't know, that's just another idea, but I was thinking of that.
Yeah, I think there's something similar on the Wakefield Town website that says like all of the upcoming meetings, but I don't know if people really like know about it or like look at it. So maybe remind people that it's there or like create something like the Google Calendar that you were saying. I think that's a good idea. But for the event, for the Wakefield Town Day event, do you think it would be helpful for like people to have signups for like to leave their email or text so that we could do like something for the public instead of like just like a Google form a Google Classroom that would just be for like the members?
We certainly could. We can, like Ollie said, that newsletter that the Youth Council used to do, we could do that. So what we could do is just have a sign up that just takes in people's information. Are you a youth or adult? Would you like to stay up to date on Youth Council happenings? and capture both emails and phone numbers so you know who your audience is. And then the communications team can take it from there. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I think that would be good if we had like a piece of paper, or like Ollie was saying, like we could have like a QR code that could bring someone to like a Google form that you could fill out online. I don't know which one's easier or if you could have both. But
That's
I
a good
think
idea.
would be good.
All right, so I know Matthew had to get off because he had an appointment. Ahmed has to jump off for soccer practice or game. Game, Ahmed?
No, it's practice.
Okay. So we have people in sports going left and right. But I did want to see who is available on Saturday to help out at the youth council table, because I will be doing something else. So who is available? You can do 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. It's 1 to 4. So Madeline, when can you do?
I'm not sure for how long, but I believe that I'm around all day. That like I don't think that I have any other plans. I'm just not sure what my parents are thinking, but I know that I can do it for at least an hour, probably 2 as well.
Ollie?
I just checked my schedule. I don't think I have anything going on that day, so I can do a couple of hours that day as well. But I'll let you know if that changes.
Okay. I do know there's a marching band competition. Ahmed?
I also have a youth action team table to go to, so I could probably do it from like either 2 to 4 or 3 to 4.
Great. And we can ask the other youth council members that aren't here. Okay, Vanessa, I'll let you take it on. And we have Mr. Fontanella here now too, so we can.
Was there anything else you wanted to Town Day?
I don't think so. Ollie, I'll touch base with you since you're communications chair. We might need to put together some information, those in QR codes and everything.
Ahmed, did you have something to add?
Yeah, so I have to leave now. So thank you all, and thank you, Vanessa, for chairing this meeting.
Thank you. Okay, Kevin, did you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sorry I'm late. Hi, my name is Kevin. I'm your liaison to the school committee. So I'm very excited to see what you're all about. I'm very sorry I missed the beginning part of the meeting. So I just saw you're working on Google Calendar. But yeah, I'm a high school teacher in Saugus. We also have a pretty active youth. They're kind of our peer mediation council, but they actually do get involved with a lot of, they're not really peer mediation. They do get involved with a lot of youth council space that you guys might be involved with too. So yeah, if you have any questions for me, and I'm definitely excited to be working with you guys and seeing what you're all about.
Thank you so much. We definitely appreciate having you here. So next we have communications. Is there anything from communications for this week, Ellie?
So I think Catherine sent out a doodle poll for the next communications outreach subcommittee meeting. I'm not sure. But other than that, I think that we've really talked about what communications is going to be handling with Town Day and everything. So I don't think other than that, there's any other updates.
Okay, from there we will just confirm our next meeting date, which will be October 19th at 12:30 p.m. on the half day. Does that work for most people? Yes. Okay. Is there anything that we have not talked about yet that anyone would like to mention? Madeline?
Sorry. I just wanted to ask about the new members that will be joining us and which meeting we should expect them to like be joining and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think they should be coming by the end of this month. but I think Catherine has more information about that.
So the applications for new youth council members for the spots that we have open are due by tomorrow, October 4th, I believe. And then they will go before the town council, and the town council will approve the new members. I'm not sure how many have applied. I haven't heard yet. So we'll have that more information at our next meeting for sure. Councilor Chines, when is your next town council meeting?
So our next meeting is the 12th. I believe that we are planning to do appointments at that meeting. I'm not entirely sure, only because what we often do is once we get the applications in, we'll ask each of the committees to kind of review and comment on the folks that applied for that committee. So like, if someone applies for the Zoning Board of Appeals, we want to hear their, if we have multiple applications, we want to hear their perspective on which direction they'd go. I think the intent is to try to do that in time for our meeting on the 12th, which is a week for Wednesday, but obviously the timing is tight. So I don't know if that'll end up getting pushed to the following meeting, which would be the 20 something. Sorry, the 24th.
Okay, that's helpful to know. I think hopefully we'll be able to have them on in October.
Yeah, I know we're kind of eager to move them forward. So, sir, at the absolute latest, I think we would have the appointments made before the end of the month.
Thank you so much. Okay, is there anything else that we haven't mentioned? Okay, in that case, do we have a motion to adjourn our meeting?
A motion.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, I will go down the list and try not to say the people who are not here because we lost a few people. Ali Atui,
Yes.
Madeline Naper,
Yes.
Thomas Baronato,
Yes.
and Paige Arkansas.
Yes.
Okay, in that case, today's meeting has been unanimously passed. We will see you on Wednesday. Thank you guys.
Great job,
Thanks, everyone. Take
Vanessa.
care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Nice meeting you.